Hello and welcome to this next episode, the one before the last, of the parts of our research proposal here in Research Methods, Part 7, and this is Informed Consent, or Ethics and Informed Consent. And what this part is, there's going to be no change inside of your paper at all, as you're going to see from my example. What you are simply doing is you're adding an appendix. That's all you're doing. What I did is I took my my methods, used that as a template, and just added another appendix to it. The appendix that I'm speaking of is the informed consent, which is going to be the document that when your subjects are getting ready to participate in your study, they're going to read through this document. It's going to cover certain bases, let's say certain topics that we want it to cover, getting down to the end, so that by the time they get to the end and they click yes or no, their decision to participate in your study is informed. That's why the word is informed consent. I want you to know what you're getting into. I want you to know the risks. I want you to know the rules and whatnot before you say yes. So, depending how you actually design your study, let's say mine is going to be an online survey. What's going to happen is they're going to enter. I send out that email, the sampling one. Send out the email for sampling. That's the one that I edited for this, not the methods. But the sampling went out, had that invitation. They're going to click on that, initially. It's going to bring them to the experiment itself. But the first page of that experiment is consent. It's going to go through all of that stuff. And at the bottom, it's going to say, if you click yes, then you are consenting to everything that I've said above. And then they enter into the survey proper. If you were doing a face-to-face experiment, you're having people come into a lab or something like that, they would read that and sign their name, and then they can come into the lab and participate in the study. So you're just giving that opportunity for them to be informed prior to giving their okay to participating in the study. So let's take a look at what I put together, the document, the assignment, what I expect yours to look like. So here we have, again, modified the header content here. Just called it consent. You can call it informed consent, ethics and consent, doesn't matter. And what I did is I took the material that was in here and I just put TBA. This is the rest of the paper. I just deleted it just so it wasn't distracting. Put that. And then here are my references, same as every document. And then you're going to see my first appendix. Here's the one from the last assignment. This is my invitation to participate in the study. This is the email that I'm going to send out. And that's Appendix A, no colon, space, and the title of that appendix. And then we go down to Appendix B, consent to participate. And then I looked through, I modified these items to be specific to my study. Now, there's a few things. First, in the course book, there's a link to a consent that looks a lot like this. I simply edited that consent. I almost kept everything the same. So that example is something you can copy, put into, and just change the pieces that you need to change. That's all I did. That template that I gave you inside of the course. So let's go through each one of these and see how it specifically applies to what you're going to be doing. So in the summary, I talk about what the research is going to do. If you've been following along here, there's a little bit of deception. I do tell them that the images are going to be shown at different durations of time. That is actually a lie. But and they will. You will then select if the image has been displayed a short time or a long time, and I tell them just about how long that thing is going to last. This is what I'm going to be telling them to do. So up front, this is what they're going to be doing. Here I get into the right to withdrawal. You're free to discontinue. You can skip any images, skip any questions. No problem. The benefits, kind of like thinking about, well, maybe they might learn something about these different things. Any additional information. I'm going to be providing them a space in the survey for an email if they want to get a copy of the results. The time commitment, about 10 minutes to finish that study, sort of a complement to that up there. I'll have to change that 10 to 20. Confidentiality, all data from the study will be kept from inappropriate disclosure. This is actually word for word from that example. And then down here, the researcher contact information. This is going to be modified a little bit. I'm looking at this example. You're going to put your name in there, but you are not going to put your contact information. You're going to put me as the contact information. I am the supervising faculty. I kept it like this because you just replace your name with the first. The researcher is you, and then the supervising faculty is Dr. Mark Kavanaugh. That all remains exactly the same. Don't put your contact information. I'm the supervising faculty in all of your studies, so they would need to contact me. And you'll see in the next two items that I refer to the supervising faculty. So any risks, certainly if you see any risks or anything like that, you would list those out. We can talk about that. And if there's any questions or anxiety or distress, contact the supervising faculty. It refers to there. Down here, campus compliance officer contact information, supervising faculty. Right there. Just keeping with this format. Here's a verification of adult age. Again, the clicking I agree. They're all adults. Verification informed consent. Clicking agree, that means or signing below, And you'll see that I've created this as if they're going to be signing it. I want you to do the same thing. For the print version of this, put that participant signature. Copy it right from that other document. Put this participant signature and date. In reality, many of you are going to be doing this online, and it's just going to be an I agree to participate button, or go to next button, or whatever it is that you use in terms of the software that you're using. That's fine. But for the print version, I want you to put the signature, because then people reading this will see that consent was made. Even though the language above says click, you had that signature line that allows for an individual to do this in a written format. That's it. So to make this easy on yourself, get that PDF that's from the course book, copy all of that material into a document, and just change the parts that are specific to yours. Be sure to look closely at risks. Think outside the box on that. The images that I'm showing are they're spaces like a closet, kitchen, bathroom. But who knows? Maybe somebody like the closet or the wide open spaces or the big arena or something like that. I don't know. There actually could be some risk. People looking at those images, they might have trauma, might remind them of something or something. So you always sort of kind of have that, there's always risks. Even though I'm just asking them to look at some pretty innocuous pictures, there's still always that risk. It could be, theoretically, I could talk about fatigue, eye strain, looking at the pictures, all of those things. I chose to focus on the content itself, being creative about identifying what the potential risks are. Remember, this assignment is, you don't talk about it up in the paper. We're not going to do that until next semester. You don't talk about it. It's not in addition to your methods or anything right now. It's an appendix. And you should be including any other appendix that you've already put into your paper should also be within this. So for me, my first appendix was the invitation email. My second appendix was the consent for participation. Theoretically, once I have the actual survey itself, I'm going to put all the pictures in there. I'm going to put, that would be additional things. I'm going to do that after I've actually created the survey. Many of you are going to be in the same situation. So that's this last piece before we go on to bring the next one. The number 8 is going to be bringing all of this together. All of these 7 documents. 6. The first one was the infographic. These 6 documents, we're going to bring them all together into one continuous document. We're going to put them all into the one same document, and the title of that is going to be your proposal. So, okay, so that's it for this assignment. And over the break, I will probably be doing the next, well, this is supposed to be generic. As I'm recording this, we're about to head into Thanksgiving break, and I'll get the next one out during that time. So, have a great time with this assignment.